Hi, I'm Sonia Luna, CEO and founder of Aviva Spectrum, a boutique internal audit and compliance consulting firm headquartered in Los Angeles. Today I'm going to walk you through the 6 phases of our compliance approach. Now, the first question I typically get is, well, what's so different about it? The phases sound, look, feel like every other compliance firm. So let me walk you through those 6 phases right now. The first phase is called the planning phase. Everybody goes through the planning phase. It's where you do your scoping, it's where you do your risk assessment, both aggregate and looking at multi-locations. The key difference in our planning approach is not only using up-to-date guidance provided by the AICPA, the IIA, etc., but we incorporate a minimum 2 to 3 different brainstorming sessions. Now you ask yourself, well, why? Why is that so important in the planning process? When we conduct those brainstorming sessions in the planning process, we find that the risk assessment becomes actually more robust. We're able to limit the company's exposure. We're able to document where the company is headed, let's say not only for the current compliance period, but future periods as well. It's really a great bonding experience, believe it or not, in internal audit. So what we try to do is get folks in a room, talk about fraud, talk about the scoping documents, and ensure that everybody's really on the same page where we're headed with compliance. But more importantly, which I wish our profession would actually do, is we challenge ourselves right from the get-go in the planning stage. We ask the group, what are some of the goals we want to achieve after this is over? Some of those goals relate to actual revenue growth or sales strategy, or sometimes it's a performance type of audit. Now, it's not technically a performance audit, but we're encompassing some of those objectives in the planning stage. And that's something that typically never happens in our profession, and something that we've incorporated day in and day out for every client that we service. Now, let's look at the second stage. The second stage, you've seen this abbreviation before. It's called the entity level controls. Some people call it company level controls. So what's so different about us? Well, let me first tell you that we've already done homework before we've even started on any compliance engagement. We have an in-house 8-hour power session with all of our staff. We go through your 10K filings, we go through your website. We're actually looking at company level objectives first. We're saying, what does this company do? Why are they here? Where are they headed? So by the time we're even reaching this second phase of our compliance approach, our team members already have a very good understanding of your business. It's something that, again, I wish most of our professionals would actually do before they walked into the office. We take this seriously. It's part of our entire engagement. And by the time we sit down with you, we have a very good preview of exactly what you're in business for. Now, the third phase, it's called the documentation phase. I'll just abbreviate it here. Documentation phase is not only understanding your business, what you do, how you get there from point A to point Z. Over the years, we've created a very proprietary technique in business writing style. So some of you say, well, what's the benefit of our writing style? Let me give you an example. We have a way of labeling the key controls in a unique way that I have 85% chance of higher recall, higher call to action, and getting also the external auditors to run their audits more efficiently. So it's a 5-point system, so any key control that gets documented must be within the parameters that we have already created in our documentation techniques. And I personally get involved to ensure that that's the quality we're doing at every single engagement. Now, let's go to the testing stage. So I want to put an asterisk here. We really believe that companies should do both an interim set of testing as well as year-end testing. So what's the difference? Our associates already know something about your company. So in the planning process, we're already taking into account key risks, multi-location issues, etc. What we really want to accomplish in interim is a couple of other value add items that you're probably not expecting. Some of it is related to, well, just bonding experiences with your staff. I'll give you an example. When we're out in the field testing, not only will you get a 2-week advance notice that, hey, when we're coming out, what we're trying to achieve, etc. Our seniors actually sit down with your process owners, right? The people who are on the hook for making those controls happen. And they're trained to actually sit down and listen as they're going through the process of the core objectives of testing. Now, what does that mean? Imagine associates having dialogue with your people and talking about the why. The reason why we're here today is because we really want to accomplish SOX compliance. Let's just say that, for example. And we really appreciate you being here with us. And there's, again, more dialogue. So our associates are treating your people not, please give me your document, I need to test it, and I'm going to go in the conference room and go testing, ticking and tying numbers. It's a completely different experience. Why? It's our culture. It's a value that's extremely important to me, to work with your people, to act like a value partner, rather than I'm here, I just want to be in, I want to be out. So when we get to that testing stage, again, there's more of a dialogue, there's the reconfirmation of why we're here, and actually we say we're appreciating their time sitting down with us. So at interim, we do a closing meeting. At that point in the testing phase at interim, not only are we covering what we found, there might be some issues, and we'll get to that phase in just a moment, but we also cover what's called a regulatory update. It's a great opportunity, again, to get something that you have not seen in our industry. I'm not going to give you a regulatory update of accounting rules or IFRS. I'm going to just hone in on the compliance industry as a whole. And more importantly, I'm going to tie in why it's important to your organization. For example, what's happening with COSO's framework. I'm going to tell you in that meeting at the interim status of the testing phase what's going on, how it's going to impact your organization, what the Securities Exchange Commission is up to, what rules are they going through. Again, it's going above and beyond the normal call of duty for internal auditors. Now, we're going to move on to the next phase. It's called the GAAP phase. It's a kind of a dirty word in auditing, I know. Really, it's an opportunity phase. We conduct a thorough root cause analysis. And I know that term has been used over and over and over again. What we try to focus in on is this, for internal auditors, a documentation issue, or is this a systemic problem? If it's a documentation issue, it could be easily fixed. If it's a systemic problem, I know it's going to happen over and over and over again. So our root cause analysis is really trying to figure out the key details of why things are happening. And we advise our clients and we partner up with them in coming up with a nice, comprehensive solution so that these things don't repeat over and over again. Now, going into the last phase, reporting. So not only do our reports follow IIA standards, standards that the AICPA wants, that's nice, it's okay. But what you also get is a PowerPoint presentation that is of superior quality that can go to the audit committee, the board members, and any other executive in your organization. And what do I mean by that? Well, yeah, you get a report, it follows the guidance, but you get a dashboard that gives executives that, I just want the snapshot. I know I need to pass for, let's say, SOX, but tell me total controls. Tell me which ones passed, which ones failed, which ones we couldn't test because there was no population. Here's the other added value that, again, I wish our industry would really focus in on. It's called benchmarking. Okay, benchmarking where you should be. What's your competitor doing down the road? How many controls do they have? What do I have? So not only do we do benchmarking analysis, but we actually quantify that for you and say, because of where you are compared to the marketplace, these are some of the results you should be worried about, or better yet, Sometimes we have clients that have been with us for a number of years, and the results are great, and it's a great way to promote both the finance and internal audit function to the board and tell them, look, we're doing a great job of this internal audit function, and we have objective benchmarking evidence that proves it. Now, I'm hoping you found this to be very valuable to understand why we have our 6 phases. More importantly, what differentiates us from, let's say, those out there that say they have the same 6 phases. And what I'm hoping you'll do today is click on the link below so we can connect and partner up in your next compliance analysis.